Hello Internet, and welcome to this interpretation / analysis video on Paint It Black. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a look at the music and the lyrics, and then we're going to have a look at ideas on how to interpret the song, make it your own, what aspects you want to exaggerate, what aspects you want to insist on, and why. So the lyrics, what is Paint It Black about? Well, there are different kinds of interpretations to the song lyrics, and we're going to have a look at each set of lyrics and see if they make sense with the lyrics, and try and see what he actually was talking about in Paint It Black. But basically, with the song Paint It Black, it's about depression, and so the reason for this depression would be either angst, teenage depression in general, or would be maybe because of the Vietnam War, and so someone who has PTSD, or someone who's lost a loved one. And so there's evidence for these different interpretations, and when you ask Mick Jagger, who was well, responsible for writing the song, partly at least, he says that you shouldn't read too much into the lyrics, and it was basically a bad acid trip. So there you go, that's as far as the lyrics are concerned. The historical context, apparently from my best research, the Vietnam War aspect of Paint It Black was actually interpreted and put as an attached to the song afterwards. So there we go. But there are elements that are very, logical if this song was written about the Vietnam War. So we're going to have a look at that in just a moment. So the song Paint It Black starts off with this little thing. And so that is basically playing between E minor and B major. So if we sing the melody, na, 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 you're basically playing between E minor and B major if you have a look at the notes. Okay, so when he starts to sing, it's the same chords as the introduction. It's this E minor and B major. You could play actually a dominant 7 version of B major, I've seen people do that, but I like the sound of the B major. So let's have a look how the lyrics fit on this little sequence of E minor, B major. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colours anymore, I want them to turn black. And so here we have this basically E minor to B major, and that creates a lot of tension. That when you're on this B major, you want to go back to the E minor. And so that's good with the lyrics, because you have here basically, I see a red door, so some form of colour, and I want it painted black. No colours anymore, I want them to turn black. And so that goes really well with the chords. And so in the next section, we actually change the chords and we change our scale. So if before we were in this E minor harmonic, we were, if you want to improvise on that beginning, you know, you get this, and then when you land on the B major, that's kind of the thing you can get. And then we change, because we get to what we call a E Dorian. Now, E Dorian, so Dorian is a mode, have a look at the videos about modes. And Dorian, this is kind of subjective, but it basically starts in this kind of minor, but it continues in more of a major feel, so it goes like this. So it's a kind of a neutral scale, I think. A lot of people can associate different things to it. It's quite prevalent in English music, traditional English music, folk music, etc. And so what I think is happening with this Dorian shift, this modal interchange, as they call it, is that you're basically getting to the next stage. So you have this, I feel depressed, I want black. I feel depressed, black. And then we land into the next section of the song, where actually he shifts an octave as well. So when you're writing a song, obviously the height that you'll be in, like the note height, will actually translate into natural states of emotion. I mean by that, when are you going to naturally do a high E if you're a man, a medium man? You're going to do it when you're angry or when you're calling someone, and so to have this shift where here he's kind of, you know, I'm depressed. So I'm in my normal speaking voice, you know, I feel, you could really like kind of sing like that. And then he gets to this higher state with maybe some hope, where he goes like, I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. And so what happens is the first line of lyrics, if you look at them, they are lines, you know, of something a bit more hopeful, I find. With the, so I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. That's the most positive image we've had up till now. I mean, most people would like to see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. But he brings it down because this is Painted Black, it's a song about depression, mainly. He brings it down to something dark again, and so that's translated with the chord changes, because we have this. So I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes, and we actually shift back from this A major to the B major, and B major is not in E minor Dorian, sorry, in E Dorian, sorry, and so that's shifting us back to our harmonic here, scale, and that's dramatic. So that's why this song is really, I find, quite well written, and why I like it so much, is that it really is communicating something. So here's a little side note. So we have this E minor B major, which is a 1 to a 5. So have a look at the videos on functional harmony to understand what that's about. And then we get to this Dorian part. This Dorian part is really interesting because what's happening, in fact, is that we are going from one dominant chord, the A major, here, to the B major, to transfer from one to the other. So it's with this part where it goes, because in Dorian this A major is your dominant chord that leads back to E, but A major, B major, and then E minor. So that's really actually something that's quite interesting, like way that they used to get from one mode to the next. And so here's actually something else that's quite interesting, is if you actually take the melody that he sings, it's actually pentatonic. So when he's in this Dorian, he's actually not playing any of the tricky notes of the Dorian scale. We only know that he's in Dorian because of the chord progression. So if I go here, Dorian, and the actual melody he's singing is, and so those are actually pentatonic notes he's playing. For a rock band, which is quite logical. And so he's staying clear of the Dorian note, which is this C sharp. But it's there because it's in the A major. So the next set of lyrics, actually before we talk about that, it's actually a song that's quite interesting because does it have a chorus? It just has two sections that you know, follow each other. Some people say that the second part is the chorus, but I don't know. So just a little note on that. The next section, we start with I see a line of cars and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. So here we are definitely in more of a funeral setting, with the I see a line of cars and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. So he's probably lost someone with that set of lyrics. So that makes a lot of sense in the Vietnam War, or him losing a girlfriend or something like that. And also, actually, if you look at the rhymes, because here rhymes are very important when you're writing a song, obviously, you have the same thing with as before, with the basically I'm expressing something, I see a line of cars, and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love, both never to come back. And so when you're writing lyrics, you'll be more impactful if you take into account the richness of your rhymes. And so black and back are pretty much the same word. And so in this context, he's he's telling a story, but he's staying very coherent with his first set of lyrics, with the I see a red door and I want it painted black, no colours anymore, I want it to turn black. And he's got the same thing, no, black, no, back. So that's just a little remark as far as that's concerned. And so then we have the I see people turn their heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby, it just happens every day. And so that's basically the same thing that he's saying. He's just getting deeper into his story. So before he was looking at the girls and he, turning his head. Now it's not just the girls, it's everybody. And also because of the English language, we're not sure who's looking away. I see people turn their head and quickly look away. Is he looking away? Are they looking away? Just a little side note. And then the next section go, like a newborn baby, it just happens every day. And so death, I think, is what he's trying to refer to, as he was talking about the cars and all of that, and losing his love. And so that made a lot of sense and resonated a lot with people who were interpreting this song as a kind of Vietnam War post-traumatic stress disorder song. So that's evidence for that interpretation, definitely. So the next set, following the same pattern, so I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door, I must have it painted black. So same thing as before, which is basically something black, something black. So E minor something, B major black, big tension chord on the B major. And so here we're just going inside the character. So when you're writing lyrics and we're telling a story, it's always good to play with different perspectives. You can either stay in the same perspective and go deeper and deeper into it, or see things differently. And here, so he's kind of, imagine a movie. So he sees a red door, I want it painted black. It could be in front of him, or it could be, something metaphorical. Then he sees the line of cars, and then now he's inside himself now. So he's seeing, looking. So he's staying in only the vision, by the way. So when you're writing lyrics, you can play with that type of stuff. And so I look inside myself and I see my heart, I see my heart is black. And so that's really depression and loss of a loved one, probably. And I see my red door, I must have it painted black. So this red door, that's why a lot of people think now that the red door is a metaphor for his heart. I'll let you decide that. Okay, so the next thing goes, maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the facts. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black. Now, a little side note here on this section. If you have a look at the vowels, the vowel that it represents the black is the sound ah. And if you start the first rhyme scheme, it was ooh, with I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. Sorry, not ooh, oh. And then it goes, I see people turn their head and quickly look away and gaze A. So O is further away from A than A, which is closer. And here actually our second section, so is becoming closer to the sound A, because it actually is the sound A. What I mean here is the second section is actually changing a vowel sound and going towards A. So with this, I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes, oh, right? Then we have the thing where it goes, I see people turn their heads and quickly look away, A, O, A, and then it goes, now we've gone back to the black. And so that's something that's interesting, because basically he's getting even this Dorian, which is less dark. So the Dorian was this that part, which I think you'll agree sounds less sad than this dark, dramatic. Well, even that part is becoming more like the other part. So that's really, he's getting darker and darker deep inside him. That's the way I see it. And with the so the lyrics themselves, maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the fact. So he's really disappearing. He's really turning into black. It's not easy facing up to whatever he has to face up when your whole world is black. So the whole world is black. Like, he sees things black, 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 black. He looks inside himself, black, black, black. So it's really like, well, depression. Okay, then we have this last verse here, which is quite interesting because it's the only verse of the song that does not start with black. And so it goes with no more will my green sea go turn a deeper blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you. So we've gone completely away from our ah sound and our black. We've gone to ooh. And so no more, we've got some colours back. So no more will my green sea go turn a deeper blue. A deeper blue could be black. That's a whole interpretation. And so I could not foresee this thing happening to you. So here he's kind of thinking about her still being alive, I guess. I could not foresee this thing happening to you in his mind when he's painting these pictures with the colours. And the blue and the green, the sea, some people think that it maybe reminds them of Vietnam and stuff. So I don't know too much about that, so you can tell me what you think of that. But that's very interesting because also in the arrangement of the song, if you listen to the original, this is where it goes a little bit more quiet. And so this is definitely a moment where you can kind of let go of some of the tension and give like this last reminiscent fragment of hope before things go to black again, basically. And so the next section goes, if I look hard enough into the setting sun, my love will laugh with me before the morning comes. So he's got this last image of this girl he's lost, and he's just clinging on to this last ray of hope, of something, basically. That's what that little part of the song is. So when you're interpreting it, when you're singing it, think about that. Think that you've been going black, 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 going more and more into me, black, darkness, horror, and then, oh, there's this little ray of, I think, you know, there might be a little bit of hope. And then it goes away, because you get the next section. And so the next section is actually just the same as the beginning. When you're repeating a section, it's never a good idea to do it exactly the same. So here you've probably gone down with your crescendo for the No More Will My Green Sea Go Turn a Deeper Blue, and boom, you have to go back up with this black that you're coming back, because it's the same section. So it's I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colours anymore, I want them to turn black. I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. Same as before. And then that goes, you move on to the thing where basically you get the and so when you do those, you have to think of it, the way I hear the song, they're not beautiful, they're mocking. So something or someone is mocking him, probably the world and probably his thoughts and probably himself. So it's not like or something, I don't know, you know, trying to be beautiful. It's really like kind of a thing. And then basically the song continues and he goes into this huge crescendo where he wants to see everything and everything painted black, the sun blotted out in the sky and all of that. And so that's really where you have to go and build it up. And then the song ends with the same thing coming back with these and the song itself actually goes over and over with that, and it slowly fades away. And so that, when you're playing and when you're recording a song, is this idea of things being the same and going on forever and ever and ever and ever. When you fade away, that's an element you can trick, a little thing you can do to make things go on and on and on. You look at Hotel California, that happens, it fades away because it goes on and on and on. There's no ending because you fade away, you don't actually hear an end. And as you see the first set of lyrics that repeats itself, that's also, so it really is going on forever and ever and ever. Okay, so interpretation. Well, I think when you're doing your cover, when you're doing your version, you have different things that you want to do. You want to make it relatable for people to listen to, and so they can sing along with it to some extent. And you want to basically analyze and think it to yourself, so more or less consciously or unconsciously, what aspects of the song do you like and what aspects of the song do you want to emphasize and how. So I would say in Paint It Black, you have the drama aspect in the music with this. Right? You have this kind of angst and this kind of anger and this kind of teenage thumping with the double time. Actually, Paint It Black was written originally not in double time, so you know. As far as arrangement, there's the sitar and all of that extra stuff, but as we're doing guitar here, we won't get too much into arrangement. So let's take drama as our idea, and we're going to try and increase the drama in our interpretation of Paint It Black. So instead of going, I would say it's more dramatic if you slow it down and if you maybe arpeggiate it. So Ciara, actually the R&B artist, does something similar to this. So let's just try and take our chords and we'll arpeggiate them instead. So we're going to go like, you know, I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black. That would create, I think, more drama. Actually, if you do a piano version of it, I think this would be quite a good, almost opera song. But that's just my take on it. So that's what I would say. If you want to give more drama, you can kind of arpeggiate it. There's also another aspect to Paint It Black, which is this kind of teenage angst that I definitely feel. And so, well, what if you want, you can just do power chords then instead of actually playing chords. So this will be better than probably electric guitar, but you can go simply like metal and rock bands go. So I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black. So that's something also that would work with the song. Now there's another aspect, I suppose, is the kind of this hope, I guess, that you get with the I see the girl go by just in their summer clothes. So you could make that down. You could go like, I see the girls go by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. Something like that. Like give it more of this, I can manage it. So there we go. Those are kind of ideas for how to arrange, quickly interpret the song. Interpret the song how you feel it, obviously, is what I would say. Interpretation is a tricky subject. So when I sing this song, I kind of just think of when I've actually felt like painting the world black. So that's an easy one for me. You've been outside, it's sunny, it's nice weather, and you hate everything and everybody around you. You can't speak to people, you feel depressed, you feel weak, you feel horrible, and yeah, you can't talk to girls as well, I guess. So it's kind of this whole, I felt that back in the day. So that's where I go to sing Paint It Black. If you've lost people in a war, or if you've lost, then when you're trying to sing this song, then tap into that, what you feel there, and it will really give it your own flavour. and you'll be able to really express yourself with this song if you like it. So I hope that was useful. If you have comments, ideas, recommendations, criticisms, put them in the comments down below. If you like what I'm trying to do here, you want to help me out, then like, share, subscribe, and all of that. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see some of the madness I get up to in my day-to-day business. And in the meantime, well, just keep on rocking.